Without further ado, I've got the chairman of the league management company, the man who is responsible for making sure that everything goes well with the Nigerian Professional Football League. And last week, Monday, when we spoke with Mike Enahoro, there was something he said on that show, on that interview, that really struck me. He said that he wished they had handed over a more stable, a more successful, a more financially vibrant LMC to Mallam Shehu Dikko. So we're going to look at a whole lot of things, how they managed the season that just ended, the values, the gains from the NPFLTV, first of its kind in Africa, the most efficient OTP in the world right now, and a whole lot that we'll look into, because sometimes we sit out and we criticize these things or we ask questions, but then today we're going to have it. And I'm not just here in the studio alone. Emmanuel Sebastian is also representing the media corps. He's with me in the studio. Emmanuel, good morning and welcome to the show as well.
Good morning, and it's really nice. I can't wait for this, and we have him on now, and the listeners are ready. Everyone is ready, waiting to hear his takes regarding the just concluded season. So we're ready. Let's get it started.
All right, guys. If you're out there, you can only send in your messages, questions. Please keep the questions decent. You know how it is on this radio. We don't like people insulting people. You're free to ask questions. I mean, these are public officers that are working to make sure that things go well in Nigeria. You are free to ask questions. But if I don't read your questions, it's probably because they are not properly worded or they are not meeting what we need. So Mallam Shehu Dikko is joining us straight away, all the way from Kaduna. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you today?
Fine, but your camera is off.
Yeah, just a moment.
Okay. How are you?
Just a moment. The camera will be back.
Okay. So last week we were supposed to have you, and you were really under the weather. Today I'm the one who's under the weather, but I've managed to sneak out of the hospital to come here, get the show done, and then after that I'll go back to the hospital again.
Wow. So sorry to hear that. Yeah.
No problem.
That is that's life, huh?
Yeah, it
You
is.
must continue to keep us healthy.
Yes. So let's hit the ground running and start off the show. Emmanuel Sebastian, I'd like you to take the first salvo at the chairman of the LMC. You've got a question for him.
All right. So good morning, Mr. Shehu Dikko.
Good morning, Emmanuel. A pleasure to speak to you today.
Yeah, a pleasure as well to speak to you, sir. Okay, so let's move slowly. First off, the season just concluded. What is your general assessment of the NPFL 2020-2021 season? Aqua United are champions. So what do you make of the whole season in general? What's your general assessment of how the season went and how it ended?
Well, in my simple opinion, being involved for a very long time, I can just describe it simply as a season like no any other. Because some rules involve seasons, so depending on what you look at. But by and large, regardless of the challenges, regardless of the issues, I think we have had a very, very successful season. Technically, is the best so far. If you look at it, if you look at the statistics, technically, is the best season so far in the history of the NPFL. Commercial here and there, but strategy, that is quite able to test what we have all dreamed of that we could do to get the league, to put it in a very perfect foundation. So far, I think was at the end of the day, was a very, very brilliant season. The winners, Aqua United, undoubtedly, nobody is doubting that they deserve, they earn it on the pitch of play. They set all kind of records that is, I think, will be difficult even for them to repeat going to the next season. Except they want to be another what you normally see in Europe. So I think perfect. I think we have learned a lot, and I think we can build on this foundation to make the league much, much better. We have seen so many openings that make it brilliant for us.
All right, let me come in here. One of my major concerns during the start of this just concluded season was the NPFLTV. It was a bit, new to us. We've not really experienced it before. So it was difficult to deal with the modalities. I need you to give me a breakdown of how the NPFL TV work, because somehow people just maybe concluding to think that NPFL TV automatically are supposed to cover every game. What is the logistic implication, the financial and logistic implication for the NPFL TV to cover one game?
Well, you see, I'm glad the last time I brought the issue of NPFL TV, it was on this forum.
Yeah.
When I mentioned it when we had an interview before the start of the season, and we said this is the plan, this is the future. Many people don't believe we're going to do it. Many people don't even understand what we are trying to do. And there are all kind of comments, neither here, neither there, positive. But those that understand the business understand we are going in the right direction. And so we keep pushing to make sure it works. The first challenge we had to start the season is that we signed a sponsor, we signed a partner that's supposed to come and bring the investment money that will make everything smooth. When we announce that kind of investment, still people don't even understand what we are trying to do with that kind of investment. And luckily now, as we are, I'm sure people have just had the issue of La Liga, where La Liga are trying to sell out 10% of their revenues to an investor who's going to bring cash upfront. Who's going to bring about 3 billion euros upfront for a slice of 10% of the La Liga revenues for a certain number of years. That money is going to invest into infrastructure and stuff like that. But that's exactly what we tried to do a year ago, which La Liga are doing today. And I'm sure the Italian league are trying to do the same thing as well, to get that advance money. So when we signed the agreement with Restrike that, okay, we're going to develop NPFL TV, we're going to develop the league and stuff like that, I can tell you, for this season alone, Restrike were supposed to have put on the table $5 million. That money will have been more than enough to get the NPFL TV going perfectly, to get the clubs going perfectly, to get the league organizational operations perfectly, while we are developing the product. And the revenues that will come in, there will be a share to Restrike as well. But that didn't happen. We are still trying to resolve it. But at the end of the day, since we already said we're going to do it, we have to do it. And so we have to just take it upon ourselves to source the resources, to solve the technical issues, to get the NPFL TV going. For the first day of the season, everybody was shocked. Because at the beginning, when we said, oh, we are partnering with the NTA, we are taking over the vans, we are working with them to get this. Everybody doesn't believe that Nigerians with our pure Nigerian system can be able to deliver that quality that we deliver. So we're able to do it to prove that it can be done. And the way we do it is simple. All over the world, the leagues take care of their production. Yeah. Either directly themselves, or through a partnership with somebody who produce all their games, and then they can put those games on the place. Sell to all the platforms that can be able to pay them money across the world. Today we see all kind of football, for example, on Star Times, on DSTV, from Europe and everywhere. I don't think it is the DSTV or the Star Times or the NTAs or the Silverbirds that are producing those games. They just buy the content. There's somebody who produces content and puts it across the world. So we tried to do that. And firstly, what we did was to have an arrangement, have an MOU with the NTA, the federal government of Nigeria. I can always thank the DG of NTA for believing in this project. I have to thank the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, who, regardless of what people think, if every Minister of Government would think positively for Nigeria the way he does, regardless of whatever everybody can think about it, things could be different. To be able to back it up and say, look, government have these OV vans that they bought for many years ago, who are fantastic OV vans that are lying fallow, doing nothing. Why can't the league come and take it over and we work together, put it together, and see how we can cover the league? The first thing we did is to start with the one OV van. They have about 6 of them. They are very good. But we took one. The next thing we added the second one. Because, so we have 2 that we use for this season. And now the LMC now have to put the crew, the production crew, have to put the team. And I also have to salute that team because they work under extreme circumstances, sacrifice a lot, traveling all over the country, sometimes by plane, sometimes by car, to deliver games to the people. So we are moving, at some point we are moving around about 30, 35 people.
Wow.
A crew, just to produce a game. Yes. And about 23 of them also will come from Lagos, the rest will come from Abuja, and the rest will be on ground in the city where doing the games. So you can imagine the cost implication of that, to do that. But at the end of the day, we are able to see that this can be done. And we have been able to deliver so many number of games through the NPFL TV, that was practically impossible before. Even those days when we have the best of TV, the people that are concerned about with our partners, we hardly do more than 2 games a week. Always maybe it's 1 game a week. But in this season, there was a match day, we did 6 games within a match day. 6 games within a match day. So which means if we get our projects right, very soon we can have the entire 10 games live on TV, and we have a huge content that we can put on TV. And then yes, because it's a new project, we have to now create our own platform. Now that we own it, the OTT platform, we are going ahead of time. We have seen what Netflix are doing, we have seen what Amazon are doing, we have seen what the Brazilian League are doing, we have seen what the Premier League are doing with Amazon also in UK. So we now have a dedicated platform, the NPFL TV, the OTT platform. That is showed our league can be seen, our content can be seen all over the world. Anywhere you are in the world, you can log in and you can watch Nigerian Professional Football League. That is done. So, and then we also ensure that this content is also in other platforms. Anybody who has DSTV decoder, you can tune into the NTA channel there, you can watch it. If you have a StarTimes decoder, you can turn into the NTA channels, you can watch it. With the free TV, the same thing. So we have the widest of coverage of the NPFL this season, and we were able to deliver so many things. So it has shown that it can be done. So now we still have to go to the next stage of putting the investment to get this sustainable, to get this delivered perfectly as it is, and then we can monetize it, and the money will come back to the league. So that is the most exciting thing I've seen in Nigeria League for very long time, to get this NPFL TV going. In the next stage, we might even have this NPFL TV channel on other decoders. For example, there was a press release that was issued by the Federal Ministry of Information about the digital switch over, where they are saying that they want to work with us to make sure that the NPFL TV channel is on the DSO decoder. DSO decoders are going to over 20 million homes. So if that project succeeds and we're able to put NPFL TV on that decoder, maybe a pair to go or something, you can never know. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. And we're able to achieve all these issues on personal effort. We working at the LMC, raise the finances, raise the funding to get this going at some level before we can now sort out the issues with the partners and stuff like that and get more investment. So it was quite brilliant.
All right. So this season that just ended, by my count, I don't know if I'm correct. By my count, the NPFL TV produced 48 games. Before now, the highest that we've ever produced was 32. It was normally between 26 and 28.
Maximum we did was about 43 games a season. Those, even with the height of those days, maximum we did. So,
yeah. So now you have a crew of 45 with such heavy logistics, and Red Strike, you were unable to get access to that money because of some people who decided to go to court and all that. What's the plan to get over that kind of situation so that next season we would not struggle? Because you've really done well in terms of, setting up the NPFL TV and getting a crew together. Now we have world-class commentators, Emmanuel team, Guerrero, Babatunde Guerrero, and the rest of the crew. And the production is world-class. So good that the NPFL TV is producing the Super Eagles games. Having said that, you can't keep depending on the fact that friends of Shehu Dikko, friends of the LMC would back you up. What is the plan now to go get, since Red Strike money didn't come, to go get maybe another 5 million, 10 million, just the way the La Liga is trying to get about 2.7 billion from CVC?
Well, we have shown the whole world, we have shown the investors that this can be done. We have shown the sponsors that this can be done. Because there are many facets to what we are trying to do with the NPFL TV per se, for example. Because even if we get the investment from Red Strike, for example, to come in, we still have to go and get the sponsorships to be on board, because that is what will help to defray the cost of that. We still have to build our subscriber base, because that subscription money will also come to help defray the cost. We will still have to also sell this content to other networks that will buy the content and use for themselves and pay money for it, both locally and internationally. So now we have done it. We have shown that yes, we have the content. We have shown that we have the capacity. We can deliver it. Now we have to expand. We are not just lying, waiting for the Red Strike to solve their issues and come and bring the money. No, we are moving to the next level, because part of the plan from the beginning is to say, look, when we get this production going, we have to put at least 8 to 10 elite sponsors. If I have 8 to 10 elite sponsors, that puts between $500,000 to $1 million each, for example, for the season. either as broadcast sponsor or sector sponsors or what have you. You can imagine the pool of money that we raise. So we are now working to see how we can activate that, and we are talking to so many options on that. That will happen. We can very soon we might start unveiling a few partners and sponsors like that as far in the sectors that we agreed. One or two, or 3, 4 matter.
Okay, so let's look at the league, the game itself, the league matches. We had some situations.
If you could get the 5 available, we can deliver value to the sponsor.
Okay.
I missed you.
Okay, so let's talk about the game on the field now. We've seen the job creation opportunity that the LMC, NPFLTV brings, about between 35 to 45 people every week. It's what the TV is employing, and there's a possibility for one game.
For just one game.
Okay.
If you are doing 10 games a game,
4,000, about 4,500.
And that's not direct people. So what are the people outside the hotels, the drivers, the food, the restaurants, everything that will all have to, the value chain that will be created along that process is huge.
Okay, so this season we had the major issue that we had that almost marred all the good work was the Jigawa Stars, Rivers United. The season before, Rivers United was denied an opportunity to go to the continent because of the PPG, and then this happened. The question I want to ask you, and I've asked you this question, why did it take so long for that decision to be reached?
Well, it doesn't take any so long, because you see we are playing, people have forgotten that we are playing games basically Sundays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Sundays at times, because with the Tier Cup. And so, for example, the Jigawa issue happened on Friday. Happened on Wednesday. And what is the rule says? I don't know. I don't want to go into the details of what the final decision is or whatever it is. But I'm proud of my clubs. I run 20 clubs. I see each club as part of me. But our job as the league is to apply the rules as we have it. We are the ones that created the rules, that made the rules with the clubs. Agree, this is the rules. The rules did not. We don't have a direct rule that says that. If you use an eligible player, you are automatically going to forfeit points and listen to the other club. The rule did not say so. Our rule was very clear. Our rule is a qualified rule. Our rule says if it is established that a club intentionally use an eligible player, then this is the punishment. So before you can apply the punishment, the first thing to do, you have to investigate why and how the player got involved in the game when it's not supposed to be involved. You have to now establish whether it is intentional or not. And how do you do that? You have to conduct a proper investigation. The match was on Wednesday, I think on the 21st, I think also. By 22nd, we got a petition for Rivers United. And on that same day, we queried Jigawa and asked them what happened. Give us your answer to this. Jigawa now wrote back and said, look, the email you sent to us, it was not sent to our official email address. Now opens a new issue for us. So LMC have to go back to do investigation to find out is it correct or not. And remember, that issue happens during the public holiday issue. There's public holiday on Tuesday and Wednesday, and we gave our staff to go home to come back the Monday the next day. So there's nobody in the office to help us now to see how we can quickly go down and investigate really what Jigawa are claiming. So we have to do a thorough investigation. We have to issue an M-page report based on our findings as the managers of the league to confirm whether yes, what Jigawa are claiming is correct or not. And we find that yes, what they claim was correct. There's ultimately an error in sending the email to them that was sent to not their official email address. So they couldn't have got the email. We have to get the match commissioner to find out did this matter, where was this at the match meeting or what have you. We have to wait for the report of the match commissioner to do that. So within 7 days we made our report. And we make our submission. And by the time we make our decision, naturally the decision is made to appeal. The next Monday, also give us appeal, and then we have the FA Cup final and stuff like that. The regional committee have to come and see emergency as well. So everything was tight. There's nothing that delayed the decision to that level. Just a process that has to be followed. At the end of the day, without prejudice to the decision of the Military Committee and the Affairs Committee. We have they have made their decision based on what they think, but we know that we made our decision based on the rule book. Nobody have come to say this decision is not in compliance with the rule book. They make their decision based on other considerations that they brought up. That was not in part of the rule book, but that is background.
All right. Okay. So let's go to the fans. A lot of them are throwing in their questions. Now, I'm not going to be able to read all of them, but I'll try my best to get as many as possible in. So Stanley from Abuja says, good morning, Mr. Shehu Dikko. Sir, I commend you for all your effort to raise the standard of the NPFL. I have two questions. The first one, please, where do you see the NPFL in the next 5 years? It's on a regular question that they ask people in interview. Question number two, he said, what is the NPFL doing to sustain and improve on the possibilities of more away victories?
Well, you see, let's start with the away victories from the back question.
Yeah.
You see, the away victories is not a function of the LMC. It's a function of the system.
Yeah.
We create an enabling environment to ensure that the games are fair, the referees are comfortable, they do what they have to do. The winner is determined on the pitch of play, no any external factor. And we have worked with the NFL, with the referees appointment committee, with the NRA this year, despite the challenges, to make sure we at least 98 of our games there was no complaints. Nobody have called to say, oh, I was cheated. 99% of the games. Only a few games we have that issue. So that is why we see these away victories. We have the record away victories this season. Ever in the NPFL. It's a record. We have a team that won the league, playing 38 matches and losing only 5 games this season. It's unheard of in Nigerian professional football league.
True.
To win a league, 38 games, and in fact, they lost the first 3 within the first 7 match days. They lost the first 3. From then, they have not lost a game till around match day 28 or thereabout. From then to the last day. So you can imagine the gap. They did a record of 18 or 19 straight games without defeat. The highest we had before was 13 to do that. And so that shows that something is happening. And if you sustain it this way, everybody has started to believe that you have to earn your victories on the pitch of play. And the match officials are doing fantastically well, and everybody is doing well. And I think the moment we sort out these TV matters, TV issues, and we have almost all the games on TV as we plan to do, this thing would absolutely be eliminated. And you can see now the entire 20 clubs in the NPFL this season have dropped points at home and have added points at away. Everybody.
True.
Everybody have dropped a point at home and everybody have earned a point away. Unlike before that. So it shows the huge progress on that level. And the moment we get the TV going to make it much easier and better, and then everybody can see what is happening, and the players will be comfortable to do that, do what they have to do. Yes, what we want to see the NPFL in the next 5 years is the vision to make it a very successful league, both technically and commercially. Because leagues, there is no end to league improvement. Even the Premier League, everybody they keep thinking and churning out policies and strategies to make them better. So we too, we have to keep moving with the times. We have to keep doing what we have to do, but we have to make the league technically successful, which I think this season have shown. Yes, we are going in that direction, and then we have to make it commercially successful as well. Not just at the league level, even the clubs, they have to be successful. And I can tell you, with the advent of this NPFL TV, there's a lot of people are not taking note. This season we are having one of the highest movement of players outside the country because of NPFL TV. All our players that play 3-4 games on the NPFL TV, you can see so many clubs across the world coming asking for them from all over the world, Africa, Europe, everywhere. Easy, because now you can go to NPFL TV and watch the players and watch the team, analyze the player and make a bid. And I think there's a club this year that I think, from all indication, they might before the season opens, they might make a profit of over $500 million. That is after addition of their expenses for the year, because they are selling quite some good players. They are going to earn prize money from the continental games they have played, and then so at the end of the day, you can see the revenues that will come in this year will far outweigh the expenditure they did for the year. So it shows that the league can be commercially viable even at the club level. We are not even at the sponsorships and the ticketing for the club. just on the fellow players and the prize monies that they have earned from the CAF Champions League, CAF competitions. If you add it up and see, it's going to be over $1 billion at the end of the day. The way I'm looking at it. So that's how we want to see every club participating. I don't care if our best players every year move out to the league to go to the best clubs. So long this money come directly back to the clubs to be able to invest in their infrastructure and developing other players. Where I have issues is with transfer players, and this money don't come back to the clubs. It goes to agents, it goes to people academies who claim to own the players. That's the bit that we need to see how we can dissolve. But Nigeria has 200 million people with so many talents all over the place. Basically, that is the trajectory we want to see the league going through.
Okay, another question from the ex-boyfriend of Serena Williams, a top comedian of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Sabati 360. He says, good morning, my brother. Nice job. Listening to Mallam Shehu's interview. God bless you and bless your job. My questions. One, Mallam Shehu, God bless you for all you have been able to achieve with your team. Putting our league on TV in this century has been long overdue. What assurance do we have that we will be sustained, knowing fully well that this is not the first time we have seen or heard of things like this? This is Nigeria that later end up dead. And then the second question is, what are we putting in place to make sure our teams representing us on the continent start performing well instead of just going to mark attendance registrar and come back?
Well, what we did last season, the close season, is it's a test run. It has shown that it can be done, and that is why we are trying to take control of our own production. Once we take control of our own production, once we own the platform where we first screen our games before we sell to other networks, it means we're going to sustain the project because we are independent of anybody's decision. It's our decision. We have our games being produced ourselves. We have our own platform where we send these games out to the public, to the fans all over the world. So that sure can be sustained, and we have now known the challenges and everything. And I can tell you, as I speak to you now, we have like 5 OV vans available. We are trying to fix them, working with the NTA to fix them. If we fix them, the idea is to put these OV vans across the country. Each zone of the country should have one, so it's easier to cover games easily instead of taking a van from Abuja to go to Uyo, 19 hours, 28 hours traveling. If these vans are all in the zone, it means it will be maximum a 2-hour journey in a match day. And then we also try to come up with a training program, train more hands, train more crew across the country. So moving to Lagos, who are the experts to the special games. You get the point. But other games have people across the zones who are available who can easily cover games, and so we can sustain it. And then the only way we can sustain it is the fans. The fans have to be with us. We have a platform that says you just subscribe 1,500 and more a month to have access to all the content that we have on that platform. So any fan who thinks and believes and trusts in the Nigerian NPFL should be able to get that platform. So the more subscribers we will put in there on that platform, the more revenues we have available to invest in to make sure we keep producing the games. People cannot just be talking with their mouth. They have to talk also with their pocket and their hearts in this matter. Even the EPL we all watch all over the place, we're being paid for. You see, it's not for free. Somebody have to pay for the decoder subscription to be able to watch the EPL or whatever it is. And then so the fans have to come on board and trust in what you are doing. Subscribe to the NPFLTV. I don't think asking somebody to put the $3, $2 a month, which is about 1,500 naira a month to support the NPFL growth, is too much to ask to do that. And then the corporate world also have to trust in what you are doing, to come and advertise, to come and invest and do what they have to do in that. So everybody have to be part of this project. It's not only Dikko's project or NPFL project, NFL project or whatever. No, everybody involved in football have to do your own bit. We are doing our bit, you do your own bit, and then we can be very, very successful and everybody will be happy about it. Well, you can see for the first time, I'm very, very excited about the continental games because you can see all the teams from Rivers United to Yimba to
Bayelsa United, Akwa United.
Akwa United. They are already all over the market, buying all kind of good players, and they're not just buying wholesale players. They are going and picking the one to sell players. In those days, when our teams in the continent, they price a player from, for example, Lobby or Canopy. They said, no, we don't want to sell our player. But now they all give them the players because they understand it's for Nigeria. For Nigeria, I've not had any complaint from any team that they're trying to poach my player. They're just trying to have a commercial agreement between themselves to have the best player. So probably our teams will be much prepared this year. With the momentum of the league, they can deliver better. The only team that have not seen to be active in the market is Barca United, who I think they trust their players. Sharp, they are the first to bring all their players and register their players for the cup competition. So hopefully, I hope the lockdown carrying them to the
FA Cup finals,
to the Atia Cup final and deliver the final. We keep carrying them because they trust in themselves. They are young boys who believe in themselves and they can be able to deliver something brilliant for us to do that. So we are hoping that this year could be much different because there's early preparation. I saw Rivers United yesterday announcing they want to attend about 8 Nation tournament in Cameroon as part of the preparations. That's what we need to be able to get the teams prepared and deliver very well the continent.
All right, thank you very much. Emmanuel Sebastian have some questions on his end for you.
All right, so let's talk about the NPFL app. It's right we talk about it because it was one of the positives of the league last season. At some point, people subscribed to the app, and at some point it stopped showing the games. And if you're on social media, if you see what the happenings on social media, there was a lot of wailings on social media. People complaining that they subscribed and the app isn't working, and some went as far as demanding a refund. So, and their subscribers were left in the dark. They were left in the dark. They didn't know what's happening with the app. They couldn't see games all of a sudden till on the final day when they saw the Aqua United game. I mean, the game where they clinched the title. What can you say about that? There were so many complaints. The app wasn't working, this and that. So what can you say about that? And secondly, let me just make it too quick for our question. Secondly, we talked about Bayelsa United. They won the CAF Confederations Cup. They made history. But recently, we saw that they might not be able to participate in the competition because they didn't register their players in the CAF club licensing program.
I think.
So I just saw that somewhere. So we need you to clarify on that and how are you going to go about that and everything.
Well, I think first and foremost, it's a misleading conclusion to say the app is not working. The app has always been working because when we launched the app is not just about live games. The app is a whole fan engagement app. You have all the former games, all the previous games that have been played. They're all there. You can go there and watch them and stuff like that. And we keep telling everybody that we are trying the period. This is a trial period. We are trying to see how we can make it better. I can assure you there are other events and programs that will be included in the app going forward, not just the live games. We'll have the esports, we have the e-games, we have the lotteries, the betting, the e-commerce. All are going to be part of that app and going further. It's being developed to do that. So it's not just to say because there's no live games, so the app is not working. No, people can say there are no live games. And we keep telling people that we are still putting the strategies together. It's not an easy thing to do a live game in Nigeria. One live game will cost you as much as 7-8 million naira in total cost to deliver a live game. But it's because the way we are doing it, we are even keeping the cost low to the way we are doing it. So it's a process, and people should trust the process since we are doing it. And that is and to avoid those complaints, that is why we give the people the option to do pay as you go. There are options for you to subscribe for a month, which means you have access to all the content there. There are news every day on the side. There are pictures on the side. There are news about the clubs, about the games, everything. It's all content for the app. And so if you want to be involved in that, anytime, anywhere, you can go and rewatch again. You want to, there are over 40, 48, 50 games there that are there already. That you can go and watch the highlights and you watch again and enjoy yourself. The news about the league every day is being updated. So if you want to have access to that, the full access, you pay the 1,500 a month. But if you feel you are only interested in watching the live games, you can pay as you go. As low as 200 naira, you can watch a live game. You have it there. So people are misunderstanding the way the app is going to work. And if tomorrow, for example, we launch the other content, like the esports, the e-games, where you can go and play and play esports, e-games. You can go and buy stuff at the e-commerce. You can go and place your bets there. You can go and place your lotteries there. Those are content outside the live games, which are all accessible to anybody who paid the full subscription. So people will have to understand how the app works. There was never a time that the app was never up. The app has never gone down even for 1 minute. Yes, at some point, because we had issues with the trucks and everything, the live games couldn't come up as frequent as we intend to do. But I was very happy with the feedback, because it shows we really have the market, we really have the people who are interested about it. I got a lot of emails to my mails. I get a lot of to our partners. People are sending the messages. We want to watch live. We want to watch live games. So to us, it's not a drawback. To us, it's positive, because it shows that yes, if now we achieve what we want to achieve, deliver all the 10 games live on that platform, the market is there. The numbers are there, because people really want to watch Nigerian professional football league. They're excited about it. So yes, I have to apologize for those that understand what we are trying to do. The 2021 season is the test period. By next season, I'm sure what we put on everything is going to be better. People are going to see much more games than they even envisage, because we intend to extend what we are doing to not just the NPFL. We will also offer some women's games. We have already have a conversation with the NWF, the Women Football League management. With Aisha, we have discussed how we can bring some of their games also so that we can promote them. We will also bring maybe some of the few games from the NNL that are tough games, so that people can always be excited and we can promote our football all over the place. We have already delivered all the CAF games on that platform. We have delivered some of the Super Eagles games on that platform. So it's a whole package that we are trying to bring, not just for the NPFL, but for Nigerian football. But I can tell you, to build is very, very difficult. The support is not there from them. We are the ones doing this through personal effort, while some people are trying to bring it down. So yes, we have to apologize for that miscommunication, and I think it's whatever it is. But people should trust the process. If you donate 1,500 to the NPFL a month, I don't think to see the growth. So it's not too much to ask for a proper football fan.
Yeah. He also asked about the Bayelsa issue. There's a conundrum that the Bayelsa Football Club did not meet the CAF licensing requirements, so they might not be allowed to play on the continent.
Well, you see, this is what we keep saying, why we need to have Nigerians at every level of the international engagement. That's the reason. When Amaju Pinnick, for example, is all over the place trying to be in FIFA and have people don't understand the importance of that to the country. When all of us are, for example, I'm a member of the CAF Interclub competitions organizing committee and club licensing management. So I'm involved in the club licensing for CAF, so I know all the issues. I'm also the chairman of the first instance body in Nigeria that's supposed to license all the clubs. Now we'll go to the
continent.
Because of the timing issues, CAF gave Nigeria a deadline of August 8th to submit our teams. And before then, CAF gave all the countries a deadline of I think July
yeah?
also, I think. Yes, I think July 15th to conclude all the club licensing. And they now give us an option. I said, look, what you should do is to take the first 10 in your league table and do licensing for them. And then look at the likely people who are in the IT or the competition and do licensing for them. And that's exactly what we did. We took the first 10 in the league, and we did licensing for them. They went through the licensing process of CAF and everything to qualify to be in CAF. We look at the Federation's Cup and see which are the teams that are not in the top 10 of the league that will likely win the Federation Cup. We look at Sunshine, we look at Wiki, we look at other teams who are on the bottom half of the table, but are supposed to be they have a part that could get them to the final of the Atia Cup, and we license them. So we did all that. I cannot blame us for that. In how many years now? When is the last time a second division team have won the
Can't
ITF
remember.
Cup?
Can't
I
remember.
can't remember. I can't remember myself. So you cannot go and start. But at the end of the day, Bielsa defied all odds.
Yeah.
They defeated four
NPFL
MPFL
teams.
sides
Yeah.
to get to the final and won the cup. And those four sides have all been licensed by by CAF to display the continent. They defeated Rangers, I think. They defeated Lobby. Defeated Rivers. They defeated Nasarawa.
Nasarawa.
All those 14 have license. Nasarawa, apart from Gateway as well. So they earn it. They deserve to be there. Nobody will say they don't, because those are about luck. They must have done something very right to get to do that, to defeat four MPFL sides, even though we know the MPFL side are tired. They are playing matches like 3 games, 4 games a week, while the Barca are playing 1 game a week. So it's a bit, but at least they deserve it, they earn it. So at the end of the day, once we have that conundrum, Barca have won the cup, they have no license. We have to now activate our contacts in the CAF and explain to them the situation. The first thing Ahmad Jipinic did at that stadium that night after the continental games was, "Oh, Dikko, okay, I'm going to speak to CAF now. How are we going to go about this?" We discussed and agreed. The General Secretary of the NFF was also in touch, and with all the people that are necessary to do that. And the explanation was simple. Gentlemen, we have this team that have defied all odds to win this tier cup, and they deserve to play. They have defeated 4 teams that have already been licensed by CAF to play in the continent. So what do? We cannot deny them the chance based on technicalities until they cannot play. Those boys, they deserve to be there. So CAF now look at it and say, okay, we give you 7 days. See what you can quickly do to get them there. Yes, in fact, we will send a delegation to go and look at their document. Oh, okay, we trust you. Since Dikko is in the CAF Interclubs Committee, we trust you. Sit down, look at their documentations, do everything, analyze it. So they gave us an exceptional waiver to be able to get Bielsa in. Without that touch, you can see what happened in Ghana. Their team could not be able to get into that level. But here we have the right medium to explain our situation and get Bielsa to quickly be involved. And to shock everybody, Bielsa were the first club among the 4 clubs going to the continent to register their players.
Yeah.
Because they too responded positively. They showed capacity. They quickly, the first 2 days, they sent their 28 players, register them, do all the documentation they need. So now the only thing left is the infrastructure issue. We have to look at whether South Stadium can work for them or not. So that's being discussed with CAF. But at least CAF knew that there are stadiums around the corner of Bielsa, from Benin to Uyo, that has this already, which Bielsa could easily adopt if South Africa is not going to be passed for them to do that. And they have already started their plans, they have passed everything, and their government have given the financial guarantees required. Even the sponsor of ITO have said, look, these guys have breaking records for us. We support them in this venture. So CAF is convinced that they have the money, they have the support, they have access to the infrastructure, and yes, they are not even buying any player now. They are just using their own players that they have to go to the continent. So we're able to make that ice quickly without hurting anybody in Nigeria and deliver them into the continent. And you can see they are already in the draws already. So perfect. Okay. And thanks to having a top Nigeria like Ahmad Jipinic at the top level of that cup, which
there's a question. From a fan, Matthias Jacob from Ikorodu. He said, "Good morning to you, Sir Mallam Shehu Dikko. As the LMC chairman and for all your efforts to make rebrand our league, what's your biggest fear about the project? When you leave the office, in terms of sustainability, how sustainable will it be if a man like you leaves?" Shehu Dikko have disconnected. I hope that for the last, this is like the last lap. He's come back now. Okay, let's bring him back. Sometimes network, when you do these things, you have to pray to God that network works for you.
It's been working. It's not been bad actually.
It's been fine. Yeah, it's been fine. The network has been fine, and Okay, so sorry. I was asking a question from.
Sorry, yeah.
So I was asking a
Because
question.
of technology.
Yeah, I was asking a question from Matthias Jacob from Ikorodu. He said, "What's your biggest fear after appreciating your effort to rebrand the league and what you're doing? What's your biggest fear, and what is your plan for sustainability in case one day you leave?"
Well, me, I don't have any fear. I trust in my vision. I trust in what I want to achieve along with my colleagues, with the support of the NFF and everybody, and we keep going on that direction. We keep doing things that we keep improving, right and right and right. Now, look, this vision is the right vision. I just explained at the beginning of the program, for example, how we bought Red Strike and tried to accommodate them to invest money for a share of the future revenues, which if it has worked, that will be brilliant for the league. And now the biggest league in the world are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Liga, EPL, France, they're all going the same way. I'm not saying they copied us, but at least we started that before them. so now they're all doing it. And it shows that the vision is right, it's going further. Yes, what we just need is to get more support and trust from the public, from the corporate world, and from the government people to be able to deliver on what we are trying to do. We have done practically the best in sorting out the legal issue, the rule book. Everything is steady, everything is stable. Now, what we are all battling on is to sort the commercial activity of the league. Once the commercial activity of the league, check out the way we plan it, the kind of revenues are coming to the league, the kind of money making. People even forget because we go back to the clubs. After today, who knows who is the chairman of the league or chairman of the French league? Who cares? Because they have set up the process that have transferred all the benefits and everything to the clubs. And that's the vision, that's what we want to achieve. And once that is done, it doesn't matter who is the chairman of the league, because the system have already been set up that it will be very difficult to disrupt. We need people with the good heads to sustain it. But at the end of the day, exactly when we put that strategy, to put that foundation to get it going. For example, if now we settle the NPFLTV, we have our production, we have everything ready. Can anybody come tomorrow and say, no, I'm not going to produce games again?
No.
Maybe you don't produce games, what are you going to do?
Well, because you can't even think of it. Okay, so the season.
Think about it. So once we achieve that,
the season have ended. Normally, in the European structure, it is 92 days from the end of a season to the start of the next season. One of the biggest challenges that we've always had here is from the end of a season to the start of the next season, there's always a challenge of, we don't know when the next season is going to start. Yeah. Do we have a date, a tentative date for the kickoff of the 2021-22 season already?
Well, we have an idea of what we want to do, because it's all part of the reforms we are putting in place to have our calendar running. We are ready with the CAF, with everybody. The calendar should run from August to May. That's the new calendar for African calendar, so that everything could be okay, could be sustainable. So we have a clear idea of what we want to do, when we want to start. We have playing so many games within so many short periods of time to be able to deliver the last season, and nobody wants to go through that again, because by next year the deadline for CAF is May. It's no more September or thereabout. So we have to start as quickly as possible. And the CAF competition are starting. The preliminary round is starting September 10, 11 next month. So whether we like it or not, we have to plan our league to start immediately after that. In fact, under normal circumstances, we should have started before that. But now we know we just finished. At least the clubs need at least 1 month, 4 weeks rest for the players and everything. Those that are not playing in the continent to be able to get going. So our target is we have to work with the clubs to see within September we start this league, everything being equal. That's the idea about what we are working on, so that we can have easy games, 1 game a week, to then a tier call by the midweek, so we can have a stable season where there is no overload on the teams, on the players and everybody. So we are working on that, but I cannot give you a specific date at the moment until when we meet with the clubs. But once the finances are good, once all this what we are talking about is sorted, we can even plan for the next 3 seasons. because we know the revenues are there. We know the funding is there. There's no issue. There's no challenge about it. At least the operational money is there. That was the vision where we told this strike, okay, bring this money, the guaranteed minimum of $5 million every year, for example, on the table to ensure that the league runs smoothly while we develop the commercial activities. If we have that kind of money on the table, we know we have our resources. We can pay our referees, we can pay our staff, we can pay everybody, we can pay the clubs some money to start the league. So there's no issue. We can plan the next 3 seasons. And if you look at it on those days when we have the stable revenues from the sponsors, we always do that. Our season always start January or late January or
suffering with the network here.
early February to. I think we have to go. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
So we're rounding up now. 2022 is a bit unique because we have Nations Cup in January, February, and the World Cup in June, July. Or I don't know now if they are going to play it in the later part of the year because of the weather in Qatar. I hope that all of that is put into consideration as you're preparing for the new season.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. We will look at that, but to be honest, we have to admit that most likely we might have 3, 4, maybe 5 players. I don't know, depending on the coaches. That would be joining the Super Eagles for the Nations Cup, depending on what the coaches
Okay. No.
to do. But so I think the Nations Cup will not disrupt the league progress as we planned it the way it is. And by the time we finish the next season in May, when we are planning the calendar for the 2022-2023 season, we have to take cognizance of the Qatar World Cup in November, December, so that we can allow the normal space break as FIFA wanted for the World Cup, and then we can do what we have to do. So all this has to be taken into cognizance as we move forward.
All right, thank you very much, Mallam Shehu Dikko, for your time on the show today. It's really been informative, educative, and nice. I don't know if Emmanuel, you still have questions that you want to throw.
We are running out of time, but I just want him to quickly touch about players' welfare for next season and the refereeing. We saw a lot of refereeing issues. I know it's not the LMC, they have a refereeing body for that, but I don't know what the LMC has done to make sure this doesn't happen for next season. So we saw a lot of refereeing decisions this season that wasn't really the right call. So what do you have to say about the refereeing decisions and generally players' welfare and then the development of the league in the new season?
Well, this season the referees done marvelously well, I'm telling you. And the referees committee and the NFL were up to task. Any referee that is suspected to have done something, maybe error or deliberate error or wrongful error or whatever, has been taken to task. So the referees are put on their toes. And I think that contributed to us having a very brilliant season. And so we have to continue on that trajectory, because the referees' performances are always being reviewed. Many referees were demoted, some were promoted for being a good performance, so being given a good performance. So I think we have to go in that direction to do that. But fans also have to agree that these referees are human as well. They can make an error. They don't have the luxury of VAR or something like that to review their decision. They have to make decision on a split seconds. We that will come and see the video and review it and everything, we can have a different conclusion. But somebody on the pitch of play who have to make a split second decision is quite difficult. So we have to also give them that consideration to do that. And I think they have done marvelously well. And by next season also, we got to make sure that improved. On the players' welfare, I think we have always also talked about it. This is also another issue that is also being exaggerated. Yes, we have 1 or 2 clubs that are always having issues with their players and stuff like that. But that be in the whole league. Aqua, for example, Rivers, and all other clubs always pay their club players as our due. They don't owe them. You don't hear anything about it. There are always 1 or 2 clubs, for example, like Sunshine, that we always keep having issues with them. Heartland, always having issues with them. But people now will take it and make it a reflection of the entire 20 clubs. That shouldn't be the case. The reason why we have regulation to deal with that is because we know, even in Europe, at times some clubs delayed or default. So we always deal with that and we keep improving on that. Just yesterday, we are sending memos to Heartland, for example, and Sunshine, who believe they still have some backlogs in their players. That look, they cannot sell any player now and have the money. We take control of the money and make sure that money is used to pay the player if they are owing him. So it's part of the put in place to make sure that if there are any issues, this is resolved. For example, even within this season, at some point there were some delays with Heartland players. I have to speak to the Heartland captain, to the whole team, and come to that, spoke to the governor, spoke to everybody, and make sure they got payment as quickly as possible. But nobody will report that because it's not negative. But at the end of the day, once there is delay, it's issues and issues and issues. But we keep doing what we have to do to make sure that we stop or we eradicate these things and make sure the players, the clubs are always meeting their obligation to their players. But what I know is that majority of the clubs are always top notch and make sure they pay their players. That is what.
All right, thank you very much, Mallam Shehu Dikko. It's been an interesting time with you this morning. We will still knock on your door. This is not going to be the last time you see our face. We will still knock on your doors. And as the season goes, we hope that we will play our part in making sure that the league gets to that height that we're looking at for. And next season, we hope that we will break past the 48 games on the app and probably, start shooting for 100 games broadcast before we get to the 380 games. And we also hope that the sponsors would look at the league now and decide it is worth putting their money. I really enjoyed the season. I saw the production. For me, as a production person, I saw all of the work. But I also hope and wish that we'll have more commentators, because right now, seems like the commentators are not enough. We need more commentators. I'm asking for too much now, but we need more commentators in the league. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Well, it's my pleasure to do that. If everybody will have the kind of passion, the kind of zeal and support that people like you have for the league, because what people don't know, you are one of the efficient critics of the league, because you always critique privately and say, look, this is not right. This is how we should do it. But publicly, we have to make sure we push this league forward. That's the way it is done. We can't be carrying our negatives all over the place and we say we're looking for sponsors tomorrow. It's not possible. Anybody can critique. Anybody can call me, can call my colleagues and critique and give advice. We take it gladly and smiling. But if you go outside and try to use the negatives and run down the league, then what are we doing? We're doing nothing. So everybody should learn from what LMC is trying to do for the league. And I'm telling you, if you do that, everybody will see the impact that will come, and the market will offer everybody.
Wow.
We will assure the people is that we to anybody for any shortcomings, and we hope in the coming season we will get this eliminated and see how we can move to the next level as quickly as possible.
All right, thank you very much. God bless you and have for yourself a wonderful day.
Thank you so very much, Gospel.
You are listening to NPFL TV Radio.